So the emergence of cryptocurrencies, I think, was a wake-up call to regulators. Regulators have been used to operating in a world where they've had a fair degree of control and oversight over financial networks and the transfer of money, whether it's within their jurisdiction or internationally. The emergence of a decentralized peer-to-peer mechanism for transferring value that bypasses all of those traditional financial networks, I think is deeply concerning to them. And they have, been working to understand it and to get comfortable with it and understand how they can ensure that, they can continue to have oversight and regulate this new economic activity. I think they just about gotten comfortable with Bitcoin, and then something like Zcash comes along, which has got, is portrayed in the media as being anonymous and secret, and they've had to then start up that process again of learning about it. But we talk to regulators, we talk to policymakers to help them understand this technology, to help them understand the implications that it has for policymaking, for law enforcement, for regulation, for preventing money laundering and terrorist financing. And once they learn about it, they start to understand that it's not all that different from, say, something like cash. We already have mechanisms in place to prevent money laundering using cash. And when you have something like Zcash, which is effectively digital cash, a lot of those same principles still apply. This idea that it's anonymous isn't really true. If you are depositing funds into an exchange, then implicitly that exchange has to have already done their know your customer checks on you. So they know who you are. They know that it's you that's depositing those funds. And if they need to query where the source of funds are, then they can do so relatively straightforwardly. So a lot of the principles that already exist and a lot of the techniques that already exist are applicable to these new technologies and these new currencies like Zcash. And it's purely a matter of helping the regulators and the policymakers understand that fact. So if you take the New York Department of Financial Services as an example, they worked very hard to understand what Zcash is, what the implications are for regulatory and compliance issues. We helped educate them and help them understand those issues. And the outcome was that they granted Gemini, permission to add Zcash to their exchange. And the reason they did that was because they had gained that understanding. They were comfortable. They understood that Gemini would still be able to fulfill its regulatory obligations, that the fact that it was Zcash instead of Bitcoin had no impact on that whatsoever. And the reason that they were so keen to put the effort into understanding it is because they recognize that they have a key role to play in helping New York maintain its position as a global financial center. And if they overregulate and shut out this new industry sector, this new type of finance, then it's simply going to go somewhere else. So around the world, there are regulations and legislation that recognize the importance of personal financial privacy. In the United States, you have the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. In the EU, you have the GDPR. It's a theme in today's world where you have issues like the Experian hack, concerns over how data is being shared on Facebook, that people are growing more and more aware that they need to protect their personal data. And financial data has a need for particular protection because it reveals how much you're getting paid, how much you pay in rent or mortgage, what magazines you subscribe to, what websites you subscribe to, where you shop, what your hobbies are. There's a huge amount of information that can be gleaned if you can get hold of someone's credit card statements or bank statements. Now, when cryptocurrency go mainstream, if cryptocurrencies don't have technology in place to protect their users' privacy, then all of that information is going to be exposed to the world. So it seems strange that regulators would try to discourage the use of cryptocurrencies that include such privacy protecting technologies and encourage ones which are going to expose users and consumers' information to the world at large. I think there is an argument for saying that actually, if you're going to offer cryptocurrency-based services to users, you at least need to make them aware of the privacy risks that they're incurring if they're not using privacy-protecting currencies. And secondly, to encourage exchanges and payment processors and so on to support currencies like Zcash that protect users' privacy.